next storyteller coming up we are so happy to have her. The Moth has had the privilege to do some work with the Tribute Center, and what the Tribute Center is that they have storytellers who have firsthand experience, who had firsthand experience during 9/11, and they take people on tours and offer them, kind of guidance and knowledge of what went on. And so the Moth went in and helped people work with some of their stories. And this is one of the people from there, and we are just so honored to have her. Please welcome to the stage, Erlene Alexander.
So my mom and I, we were very close. We were so close that we would have dinner together almost every night. Even after I moved out, someone had to feed me. And we talk every day, and we'd always, in our conversation, have something to laugh about. And that laugh would get us through the day, or sometimes through the week. We even worked for the same company at the World Trade Center. She worked in engineering on the 72nd floor, and I worked in aviation. So she got to work really early though, 7:30. Me and the rest of the world, we got to work at about 9:30, 9:45, 10. But on this beautiful day in September, I remember it being the loveliest day. I had to be at work early. So since I had to be at work early, I said, I'm going to surprise my mom, and I'm going to show up at her desk with a cup of coffee, light and sweet like she likes it, and I'm going to say, well, who has banker's hours now? And I say that because I recall that she used to always tease me about having banker's hours. She's like, you just cannot get to work before 10, can you? Well, today I am. So I make my way to the World Trade Center. I get to the concourse where all the stores are. And I look and I just wonder, who are all these people up so early? The concourse is full of people, and the coffee line is so much longer than I usually have it. But I stand in line, I get the coffee, because I am determined to surprise my mom on this day. So I make my way to the 44th floor, because at the 44th floor, you had to change over to the next set of elevators. So I'm headed to the next set of elevators to get to my mom's floor. And I see in one of the elevators, my work mom, Margaret, who we are also very close, but that's another story. And I see that she's talking to our friend Dan, who's the secretary of our company. So they're talking and laughing. And I'm like, what are they talking about? I want to know. So I try to catch up to them. And just as I get to the elevator, it closes in my face. They couldn't have seen me, because if they did, they would have held the elevator. And then I would have been laughing too. So as I'm waiting for the next elevator, all of a sudden the building shook violently, and it leaned to the side and bounced back. What was that? What is going on around me? Glass is cracking and shattering, and people are just moving so fast. I don't know what's going on, but I hear a voice coming from the stairwell. Let's get out of here. Let's get off this floor. We have to go. So we go into the stairwell, and it's calm, it's quiet. It's almost like one of our periodical fire drills, evacuation drills. The only thing you could hear in the stairwell were people walking down the stairs. We still didn't really know what was going on. I was just hoping that the elevators were working when we had to come back in. So we get down to the concourse, and we open the door to the concourse. And there's nothing but flashing strobe lights and alarms going off and a police officer pushing us out of the office building. Get out of this office building, get out quickly. So I step out of the office building and there's paper coming from the sky. I step out a little further and I look back up at the building and there's a cloud of smoke coming from one of the floors. That's a really bad office fire. I wonder how that happened. And then all of a sudden I feel myself being pushed again, pushed across the street, get away from the building. So I go to the corner directly across the street from the building. And then I notice I still have my mom's coffee. I still have a chance to give my mom her coffee as soon as she comes out of this building. So I'm waiting and I'm looking at each and every face coming out of that building. I didn't see my mom. So then I look up at the next building. And there seems to be what looks like a small private jet going into the next building. Did I really see a jet go into the building? Maybe my imagination is playing tricks on me at this point because I just really want to find my mom. So I concentrate back on the faces coming out of the building. I still don't see my mom. So I stand on a corner and I'm going to wait. Two of my coworkers come up to me and they say, well, we have to leave this area. And I say, yeah, I'll leave as soon as my mom comes, and then we can all walk together. Wait with me. So they indulge me for a minute, and then they convince me that I have to leave. And so we're walking, and then I don't know how it slipped my mind that I'm still holding coffee. My hand has a tight grip on this coffee because in my mind, I'm still looking for my mom because I need to get her this coffee. And I'm looking at every face going by me. I'm looking at every face in every crowd. And I still don't see my mom. So then a man comes and runs by us. Take cover, the building's about to fall. Well, what building's about to fall? Certainly not the World Trade Center. They're the safest, most sturdiest buildings ever built. So I'm thinking maybe the building next to me is about to fall. So we go into a store, and as soon as we walk in the store, and I look out the window, all of a sudden like a nuclear explosion, dust and smoke just like takes over the whole area. I can no longer see the buildings. I can no longer see the people. So when the dust cleared, I was really concerned. Like, I'm a pretty calm person. It takes like maybe a level 11 earthquake to get me going. So I'm just thinking, like, at that moment, I was so concerned for my mom that I felt more anxiety coming up. Because my mom had asthma really bad. And all this smoke and dust going on, I just wanted to find her. So I leave out the store and I start walking again. And I'm walking and I'm looking at faces and I still don't see her. Well, my cell phone wasn't working. No one's cell phone was working, so I couldn't call her. So we went to find a payphone. Every payphone had like 10,000 people online. And so finally, I just sat and I said, I have to find my mom. So I'm gonna sit at this payphone and wait online with everyone else. So I get to the phone. I call my mom's house to see if anyone there has heard from her. No answer. I call my grandmother's house to see if anyone's heard from her on that side. I talked to my aunt. They're so happy to hear from me. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, that's good. But have you talked to my mom? And they were like, no, we were hoping that she would be with you. So I hang up and I keep walking. At this point, I'm walking towards the Penn Station area, the PATH train. And along the way, I heard that they stopped the trains from running and the cars from coming into the city and the ferries. And I'm just thinking that something really bad happened. And I hope I'm not stuck on the island of Manhattan forever. So I get to the PATH station. And as they were telling me what was going on, I was still like, I couldn't believe it. That really happened? But as they were talking to me, I was looking out on the platform. I was looking for my mom's face. I didn't see her. So I'm on the first train back to New Jersey. We come out of the tunnel, and it's hard to believe how such a beautiful morning, produced such a dark night. So I get to my mom's house, and I notice that it's even darker. And I notice it because the porch light isn't on. The porch light is always on at my mom's house. What is going on? So I ring the bell, and my dad answers the door, and he has tears in his eyes, and he gives me the biggest, tightest hug ever. And he's so glad to see me. And I'm so glad to be home and see him. But I need to know, did you see my mom? Is my mom home? Did you hear from her? So he backs up and he says, just come inside. My heart went to my stomach, but I followed him inside. And I looked in the living room, and my mom was there. And we hugged each other so tight, and all of our emotions came out, and I just realized at that moment that I was really scared that I had lost her. And then I also thought, as I stepped back, how'd you get home before me? But that day, I was like the luckiest person in the world. So many people were lost, mothers, daughters. My work mom, Margaret, and my friend Dan, they never made it out that elevator. But I missed that. I don't know why I missed the elevator. But I am very happy and very glad that I still get to talk with my mom every day. I still get to go to dinner. And I still get to get her a cup of coffee, light and sweet, whenever I want. Thank you.